Hello, everyone. Uh, Today, I am just going to talk about a project that I've had in the works for a while. It's called the Negridium Network and Decentralized Ecosystem. Going to kind of go through it a bit quickly because I know I only have half an hour to kind of get through everything. So that's pointer. So what exactly is Negridium? So Negridium is a multifaceted network designed to host an entire digital ecosystem for various implementations with the digital asset market, gaming industry, and pave a way for newcomers to get a concrete understanding of how the digital market works, making it easy for everyone to get involved with the project while maintaining complete transparency, security, and integrity. So this is just going to kind of go over the architecture at a glance. This has kind of already been used in businesses worldwide. It's kind of pretty standard in the sense of having multiple deployment servers, database servers, and web servers and whatnot. This is just for the portion that's going to be facing the end users. It's definitely has more components to it than what you see here. So it's going to employ a distributed system architecture, of course having different parts in different geographical locations across the globe. They'll also be able to send, users will also be able to use portions of their own technology to add some computability power to the system and whatnot. And economic incentives for it are still being worked out at the moment, so they haven't been fully fledged out. So I just want to talk about algorithms and exactly why are they needed. So cryptographic algorithms are mathematical equations used to scramble plain text, mainly used for data encryption, authentication, digital signatures. Algorithms can be used to design for specific purposes. Some examples include the SHA-256, which is heavily prevalent in Bitcoin. It's just a hash algorithm for it. And then the ERC-20, which is heavily used in Ethereum. And so the SHA-256 algorithm is designed as a hash function algorithm that ensures data is unchanged in transmission, while the ERC-20 algorithm on the other hand, is designed for use for smart contracts and tokens associated with smart contracts. There's an algorithm being built currently for Negridium, and it is the CAB777 algorithm is what I decided to coin it as. It's designed for kind of like a check and balance algorithm. That's where the CAB comes from. So blockchain ledgers, what blockchain ledgers are for, they're typically used in for record keeping of transactions happening on a network. So each transaction will add blocks to the chain that anyone making transactions on the network will need to verify the entire chain to verify that transactions are in fact legitimate transactions. This will also assist in protecting transaction information and live transactions from attackers. In order for an attacker to take control over the blockchain, input fictitious transactions or intercept transactions, the attacker would need to take control of every transaction happening on the system at the same time. And of course, it'll be almost impossible to do so because the pace of which new blocks are being created far outpaces the amount of blocks that the attacker can take over. So in the same way that Nicholas said, it's disaster recovery for free. And then how the Negridium coin would be acquired. It's Negridium, of course, is going to have its own cryptocurrency portion of it, but of course the ecosystem is more than just the cryptocurrency itself. So like other cryptocurrencies, the Negridium token can be acquired in similar ways. There are other ways to acquire these tokens as well as many that may be a bit different than conventional ways. So they can be acquired in the following ways: mining, staking, lending, earning, purchasing, play to earn, creation tools on the network, and utilizing validation and purging tools. So with mining, it's pretty straightforward. There's three main components to mining. There's hardware, mining pools, and mining software. So mining hardware is hardware specifically designed for mining. So for example, for Bitcoin, Bitmain's Antmain miner is typically used for that, and that's kind of an example of what that miner looks like. And you can rig multiples together to achieve higher hash rates. But of course, it takes a lot of energy to do so. So, and then mining pools are kind of like people coming together, lending resources that, or pooling resources together to increase their hash rate, and then eventually splitting profits between the people that contributed power to the mining pool. And then mining software that's designed for either specialized mining hardware, or you configure it to work with GPUs. You've seen it in China. They had massive warehouses with GPUs all over the place, and they were mining via GPUs. And they tried to, once burning out the GPUs, they tried to offload some of those GPUs aftermarket, and a lot of people were buying GPUs that were burnt out and not working. So when it comes to mining, there's a timestamp server. It's very similar to how Bitcoin's timestamp server works. There's a quote that I like to follow, and it's, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So Bitcoin uses their proof of work consensus mechanism works really well, so there's no need to fix it. I'm just kind of employing the same concept for mining Negridium. And then how transactions will work, it works the same way, where public keys, hash values, and signatures are going from one owner to the next. And then how the proof of work operates is there is a block on the chain. Each block has a timestamp on it, the previous hash values, and transaction history of previous blocks within the blockchain. And then staking. Again, going back to if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Ethereum has a really great staking protocol, so I'm just kind of employing the same thing, where the predecessor's block hash is put into the blockchain. Somebody can stake their amount that they have, and that goes into the blockchain record as well, and it outputs a stake decision. And if the stake decision is no, it goes back to the previous block hash. And if the decision is yes, it'll move over to addition to the blockchain. So state transition functions and smart contracts are heavily used in Ethereum, and Negridium would employ the same thing. So it's a state transition system where, a certain amount is determined by the owner, and then they send that amount via a smart contract, and once the parameters of the smart contract are fulfilled, it then executes the transaction and sends it over to the next owner. So what sets Negridium apart from other decentralized ecosystems or crypto projects? So most cryptocurrencies have either one strong use case or very few use cases, and most people do not understand the purposes behind certain cryptos. Negridium aims to clearly outline all use cases in the beginning and clearly outline the roadmap for the future and plan for future implementations and integrations with other projects and or networks. So the main differences that set Negridium cryptocurrency and decentralized ecosystem from other ecosystems or crypto projects are below. Lending and earning, how purchasing and selling actually works, the play to earn model, and creation tools on the network, and utilizing the validation and purging tools. So lending and earning. Holders of Negridium would be able to earn more coins in two ways. When coins are staked, users would be able to allocate a predetermined amount of coins to financially support a project within the ecosystem, whether it is an already implemented project or a new and upcoming project someone else is developing on the network. Think of this method as staking or investing in a stock or a certificate of deposit. Another way holders can earn would be through lending. This is think of how a bank would give a loan for a car or mortgage loan. These lending opportunities will work a bit differently than how a loan from a bank or financial institution works, but have similar principles. Details of exactly how those functions will work are currently in the works. So purchasing and selling. It works a little bit differently. So traditionally in cryptocurrencies, some of them would have liquidity pools in play, and Negridium is employing a liquidity pool as well. But the difference is it's more of a soft-locked liquidity pool, for lack of a better term. So what it means by soft-locked is like developers won't be able to edit anything within the liquidity pool, add anything to, or take from. So, and it's also going to be adopting the USDC coin for its liquidity pool. Exactly how that works is here. This is a diagram of exactly how it works. So, of course, these are all placeholder values and whatnot, but a certain amount would be locked of Negridium coins would be locked in the liquidity pool, and so would USDC coins, and they have automatic conversions between the two. So now, say somebody wants to sell a Negridium that they have. So instead of having to wait for somebody to buy before the transaction actually goes through, it'll go straight into the liquidity pool and converted automatically to the USDC, and then automatically transferred into the fiat currency that they request, whether it's US dollar, whether it's pesos, or whatever it is that they use to purchase it. Or and then for buying, it works the same way. So, well, just reverse. Whatever fiat currency that they decide to use, it'll be automatically converted to the USDC coin, and then the USDC coin will be converted into Negridium, and Negridium would be sent over to their wallets. And of course, utilizing public keys, private keys, and signatures to for the conversion of the currency, a public key and their signature in order to send it. And then within the liquidity pool has to be their private key and signatures have to be validated within the liquidity pool in order for it to be released to them. And of course, all this information would be stored in a blockchain ledger. So play to earn. People, if you're familiar with playing video games, and a lot of video games, there's kind of economics within the video game. Like some video games use copper, silver, gold for buying various things within the video game. So play-to-earn model of Negridium network would assist in bolstering the use case of Negridium and adding to the growing ecosystem. This play-to-earn model is being developed to coexist as an in-game currency system within an MMORPG game. So anybody that's familiar, which is massive multiplayer online role-playing game, being developed for the Negridium ecosystem. This in-game currency system will not be changed or edited. Once set in stone by developers, it is designed in a way where players control the economy within the video game. This, in turn, will incentivize players to spend time hunting and gathering these unique and rare resources in-game that can be converted into the Negridium coin within the game and transferred out of the game into players' wallets, also boosting the use case of the Negridium coin. Details about the video game are to be announced because it's currently being developed and has not been completed. And how the economic system in the game would work is as follows. So for those of you who play video games heavily, the colors of rarities with certain items in a video game, it would be very familiar on that left side column there. So it'll be gray for common, brown for uncommon, green for rare, blue for super rare, red for so on and so forth. So each resources that you gather in the video game would have a certain value with the Negridium. Of course, those are placeholder values. Exactly how that would be calculated hasn't been fully worked out yet. But when you send a request to convert each one to Negridium, there's a hash value tied to each one. And then, of course, that that transaction then goes to the authentication server. It is then monitored and recorded in the blockchain ledger, and then sent out to the wallet. But of course, the hash for the wallet has to be verified with the convert request and match the hash that the player used. And then your private key and your digital signature would be used in the authentication server, because that's information that only you have. Blockchain ledger, in the blockchain ledger, that's kind of public information because there's multiple nodes within the blockchain ledger, so your public key would be used to validate that. And then once all that is come together, once it's verified, a release would be issued to players' wallets. So creation tools on the network and exactly what that means. Users would be able to install creation tools for programming and develop decentralized applications, or can import developments created outside of the tools provided on the for decentralized apps on the network or ecosystem. So I'm not limiting people to using only the creation tools provided. You can use whatever tools you want to develop whatever decentralized application you want, and you can just import it. Decentralized apps developed they can be designed for various purposes. Some may be POS systems, some may be video games, some may be metaverses, utility applications, etc. It's all up to whoever is developing said application. So to aid users in developments that help bolster, the purpose of this is to aid users in their development and help bolster the use case and validity of the Negridium coin and other cryptocurrencies to assist with burning mechanisms within the ecosystem. Users would be able to market their projects on the network and attract investors via the staking protocol implemented on the network. Once complete, when users' decentralized applications are used, portions of the transaction fees would be paid out to the creators for developing said applications, and the rest of the fees would be sent to a burn address. So the economic incentive for it is building decentralized applications on the Negridium network incentivizes supporting the network with real-world applications, also to keep existing coins circulating, distribute coins into circulation, actively burning coins, and overall boosting the use cases of the Negridium coin. So I just want to take a moment to talk about consensus mechanisms. So examples include proof of work, and then also proof of stake. So proof of work is a consensus mechanism heavily used in Bitcoin because users, what they do is they use the electricity with whatever mining tools they use to hash digitally and then eventually solve a block within the blockchain. And then, of course, they're rewarded for solving that block. And then the proof of stake mechanism is used in Ethereum, which verifies the transactions and creates new blocks on the blockchain. It's an alternative to proof of work. So Negridium would be using a new consensus mechanism called proof of validity. So what it's designed to do is that it's designed in conjunction with the validation tool and purging tool and associated servers to remove any human error from the blockchain, ensuring information and ledgers are accurate and not tampered with. With proof of legitimacy, not only will users be able to use tools to validate and purge that's supposed to say legitimate and illegitimate projects, respectively, the process will also cross-reference and monitor user activity, ensuring no fictitious activity on the network is allowed. Once job of validation or purging is done, consensus mechanism verifies and rewards are released once parameters of smart contract are met within a specific job. This consensus mechanism would assist Negridium to achieve fair reward models, reduce environmental impact, and increase speed without sacrificing security, decentralization, or scalability. So the validation tool and exactly what is it? So the validation mechanism works by scanning and monitoring the code behind a smart contract, cryptocurrency or stablecoin or altcoin, and verifies if certain parameters are implemented within the code, such as consensus mechanisms, burn mechanisms, liquidity pools, staking protocols, mining mechanism, etc. So once they have been validated, a report is sent out and published with the proper authorities, giving said smart contract, stablecoin, or altcoin validity in the market, proving the legitimacy of each. This will assist in giving proper authorities clear and concise proof of concept and assisting regulators with outlining proper regulations for said items, making it easier for organizations behind these projects to remain within regulation guidelines, thus reducing confusion within the market if a certain project is trustworthy or not. This also helped solve the issue of regulators' side determining what financial instrument classification each item falls under, whether it's a security, a derivative, equity, etc. Because historically there has been a lot of issues with cryptocurrency projects, and regulators basically determine, like Ripple Labs, for example, they currently still in a legal battle with the SEC. They won that small portion where the SEC tried to say that XRP, which is the coin that Ripple Labs put out there, is a security. So it was determined that it was not. So they had that small minor win. But then, of course, other issues came up. So how the validation tool works is as follows. So I know it may look a bit difficult, but over here, all the way to the left, we have the validation tool. And then, let me just, from here, it scans and monitors periodically the smart contract, stablecoin, or altcoin, or whatever it may be. And then up here, we have new mechanisms implemented. So, of course, crypto projects like, for example, Ethereum, they implemented Layer 2 and other tools within their cryptocurrency. So it scans and monitors periodically, and then if it's validated as legitimate, a report is generated, is sent to the regulators, and then it's also, the information is stored in a blockchain ledger. And then if, on the other hand, if it's invalidated, it's flagged as illegitimate, and then it's sent to the purging tool. But the proof of illegitimacy, the report is generated for that as well, and then sent to regulators. And then if approved to purge, it comes all the way down to the purging tool server. So once it's in the purging tool server, so anybody behind the project could basically get it reevaluated after they make changes. So there is a grace period. It's not, purged automatically. So, and then it is, once revalidation is approved, the validating tool will then again scan and monitor it again, and then, rinse and repeat. But then from the blockchain ledger, performing these validation tasks provides economic incentive for users based on length and difficulty of performing tasks. Once complete, users rewarded in Negridium token. Then, of course, a hash function is assigned to the reward. It's sent to an authentication server. The Negridium economic incentive reserve is a certain amount of coins specifically locked in that reserve for these types of jobs. And then, of course, we have the signature signing both the economic incentive reserve server that holds those coins and signing the authentication server as well. And then the private key attached to the authentication server as well. And then once amount is determined for completing said validation task, an amount is determined and sent to the wallet. So then, purging tool. Purging tool is a tool on the network designed to receive purge requests from the validation tool server. Once requests received, requests are listed as jobs on the network for any user to access and purge. Purging jobs have one of the three statuses: approved, pending regulators, or complete. Pending regulator jobs are waiting on regulators' final decision on whether a cryptocurrency, stablecoin, or altcoin can be removed from the market based on the data received and analyzed by reports sent from the validation tool. Approved jobs are jobs that are approved by regulators to remove from the market and purge from any and all systems. So, of course, there's a bit of red teaming involved with that for any of those that are familiar with cybersecurity. But the way that I like to think of that is the analogy I give is using military. So, for example, when, say, there is a order given to go send a strike on somebody else. Of course, Sending a strike on somebody else is always a bad thing, but who is the one that actually gives that authority, that okay for the military to go do that? Once the authority figure gives that okay, then they go and execute. So in the same way, it's going to work here. I'm not necessarily using the red teaming skills to just break into systems and destroy things all however I want to. Once the okay is given by regulators, then that's when the red teaming comes into play. Complete jobs are jobs that have been completed by anyone on the network and have already been awarded Negridium for completing the purge job. Once complete, job cannot be repeated. Of course, it can't be repeated because it's purged from the market and the system. So certain jobs might have more difficulty of purging than others, and multiple users can work on the same job and split rewards. Purged items from the market will have entire supply drained and converted into Negridium, creating new Negridium token coins on the network, while also determining the wallet address that initially invested money, whether fiat currency or crypto, into the illegitimate cryptocurrency and returning the invested money back to that address with a small fee, thus protecting investors and removing malicious cryptocurrencies from the market. Fees will be taken out of the returned amount, not charged to the investor in order to receive their investment back. And this would help making the cryptocurrency market a more safer place for everyone. The reason why I'm partaking in this project and actually building this is because I actually have a personal stake in this concept. The reason why is because I once was also a victim of a cryptocurrency scam. And once I invested money into a fake coin, when it actually launched, it turned out to actually be a rug pull, and I couldn't get my money back. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to build something like this and implement it. So the purging tool and exactly how it works. I'm just going to run through this real quick because I know it's a lot to look at. But over here, we have job 1. It's pending regulator. Job 2 is approved, and this job is complete. So with the pending regulator, it's waiting approval on the regulator, and then once it's approved, it's sent over to approved status. But once the job is accepted by, say, multiple users, 2 different users, they pool resources to perform purge operation. Illegitimate crypto is purged from, did it die? Oh. It's purged from the system. The entire legitimate cryptocurrency is drained and converted. New coins created and added to the blockchain. And then the new coins created would be sent to an illegitimate crypto refund server. And that's so people that invested in this fake cryptocurrency can get their money back. And then, of course, after funds are returned, verification is sent to the job completion verification server. And then there's a timestamp of when each of those are completed. And then that timestamp is sent over to the authentication server. A funds release request is then issued to, say, if 2 users are working together to complete this job, it'll be sent over to both of their wallets. And public keys are utilized to verify the release request. And then their private keys are used to validate with the authentication server. And then, of course, signatures for all 3 timestamp authentication and funds request. And then there's a hash value attached to each to verify that each transaction is matching the same funds request. So what are the challenges that the Negridium ecosystem aims to address? So first, it aims to change the landscape of the cryptocurrency market by adding a security layer under the cryptocurrency market and allowing the realm of cryptocurrency to be a safe place investors do not have to worry about getting scammed or investing in fraudulent cryptocurrencies. Negridium also aims to bridge the gap between regulators and crypto enthusiasts and organizations. With this technology, the scrutiny crypto projects receive from regulators and the confusion behind crypto projects can slowly but surely come to a standstill and make newcomers more comfortable with the idea of cryptocurrency. Negridium also aims to create a safe, decentralized platform that is transparent, secure, and easy to use, while also building a structure that gives back to the community and its investors. So now I just open it for questions. Yes. No, not a person or an automated process. What I mean by regulators is, like for example, SEC is one of them. It's basically organization that regulates. It's the Security Exchange Commission, I believe, and they are the ones that are responsible for determining, securities, and they also do work with protecting. They're supposed to do work with protecting investors, but lately what they've been doing has not been protecting investors because they've been, bringing lawsuits against cryptocurrency projects and actually harming the value of the cryptocurrency, which then in turn harms the investor, which didn't make sense to me. Like, for example, in the Ripple Labs lawsuit, they tried to say that XRP was a security, but of course it was determined that it was not. And they were trying to say that Ripple Labs was not following regulation protocols, or they were trying to operate outside of regulation. Their rebuttal was, what are the regulations? You guys haven't put anything of what the regulations are for these type of things. So with this system, I aim to bridge the gap between that, where they'll have clear and concise reports, and they can build their regulations based on the reports that they receive. So it'll help crypto enthusiasts and crypto companies stay within that regulation that is determined. I hope that answered your question. Yes, that was part of the validation tool and the purging tool. That's the automated part of it. Yeah, I was just showing a diagram of exactly how that entire system would work. Any other questions? If not, I'll turn it back over.
No, go ahead. Thank you, Nathaniel, for sharing your expertise and knowledge on that topic. We really appreciate that.